ABC News, ladies and gentlemen, ABC News is in a whole lot more trouble. It was a bad debate, right? Like, let's be honest. Like, it was a really, really bad debate. I'm going to tell you as a journalist, totally unacceptable. Yes, I wear my heart on my sleeve. You know exactly how I stand on this show. You know that I am very, very sort of pro-economic freedom, and that the Trump agenda and policy agenda really lines up with how I think, okay? And I tell you that. But I've moderated debates, and I've played the role of the neutral moderator twice in my career. And I'll tell you this, guys, you know what? You play a role, you take all that sort of information that I'm putting out here fully on display, and you put it in your back pocket and you moderate a debate. But those two anchors could not do it. You had one gal up there who's a former sorority sister, she's been exposed for that, of Kamala Harris, and you had one guy up there who I don't think cares about policy tremendously. I think that he cares about his bosses, and I think his bosses care about making sure that Kamala Harris wins and not Donald Trump. But it was so evident, right? It kind of came through in spades, to the point where you got Bill Ackman, billionaire investor, really bright guy. He's like definitely been red-pilled. It's kind of funny because I've known him for a long time. And well, look, I mean, I think seeing what has happened in this country, a lot of us, myself included, were like, hey, you know, this is going down, this is going down, this is going down. A lot of people chose not to believe it. And then Bill's like, wait a second, wow. Especially in light of what was going on at Harvard University, what was going on at UPenn, all of these horrible protests that were very anti-Israel. He spoke up. And they hate him now because now he's speaking up. But he originally tweeted out, you know, if this turns out to be true, the accusation against ABC, the accusation that the whole thing was sort of rigged and the whistleblower was going to come forward and make a whole bunch of claims. He said, if this is true, basically, you know, it's a huge death blow to ABC News. Well, it turns out that the whistleblower is coming out. Ackman put this out over the weekend. So this is the whistleblower's allegation. The whistleblower has an affidavit saying that basically ABC News has been on the decline since 1996 when it was first acquired. I'm assuming that was by Disney back in 96. Don't forget, Disney owns ABC News, ladies and gentlemen. It is an ABC News product made by Disney. So, you know, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, all of them, they are Disney employees. Disney cuts the checks. And this particular person said, hey, for the record, I don't endorse Donald Trump. The intent of this affidavit is to address concerns regarding previous biases within news reporting within my employer's debate that will be hosted on September 10th. So this person actually wrote this ahead. This was a day before. It stated a day before, and it came out a day ahead. So Ackman's tweeting about this, putting this out there saying, gee, you know, this is really, really bad. So this person was noting some of the debate communication was very biased towards Kamala Harris. They were really specific with Kamala Harris in terms of being very gentle about the topics that would be covered, and they kind of gave her some kind of affirmation. There would be this, that, and the other. This affidavit says political position clarification. Many of the employees at ABC who were looking for a fair and honest debate questioned, quote, the clear bias that is well known throughout the company. It is common knowledge that debate moderators as well as chief executive officers of my employer are well known for not supporting Donald Trump. This led to several employees speaking up in regards to how fair the debate was going to be. We were given assurances the debate would be fair, and neither the Harris campaign nor the Trump campaign would get this unfair advantage. But the person goes on to say, it's my belief that basically that didn't happen, right? There were unfair advantages, and that the commercial interest and substantial donor issues took some kind of precedence over things. Going on to the second page, it really is suggesting that these guys did the unthinkable. So if you look at the bottom of page 3, quote, the Harris campaign was provided with sample questions that, while not the exact questions, covered similar topics that would appear during the debate. Furthermore, the Harris campaign imposed restrictions on the scope of questioning, including no questions regarding the perceived health of President Joe Biden, no inquiries related to her tenure as Attorney General in San Francisco, no questions concerning her brother-in-law, who faces allegations of embezzling billions of dollars in taxpayer funds and who may be involved in her administration if elected. Oh, wow. So anyway, we'll see what comes of this. Some people are calling for an internal investigation there at ABC. I don't know if it's going to happen. I just think the truth is, you know, people need to vote with their dials. Like, don't watch it. Don't ever watch ABC News. Like, it's not worth it. You're not getting a fair product. 100% of their coverage of Kamala Harris has been positive, while better than 90% of Donald Trump has been negative. So doesn't that say it all? I mean, we don't need to watch. He never should have done the debate, actually. It's really unfortunate. I don't like any of these debates because I know how biased these people are and I know what they're going to do. But in this particular case, this team was really, really, really out there. So much so that the chair of the Commission on Presidential Debates told Greta Van Susteren the other night that he was horrified. I've played this for some of you, so if you've seen it, join the conversation. Otherwise, listen, because this is really, really important. I mean, he's like done all these going back decades, and he's never seen anything like what we saw on ABC News.
I have to tell you, though, that it really is sort of disheartening to hear that, because the American people want transparency, want a fair debate. They don't want people gaming. And now you hear that the networks are sort of up to their eyeballs in sort of, whether it's tilting it one way or another in order to get the debates because there's money. I mean, it's rather disheartening because this is
and I thought that one of the things that really shocked me last night was the way the moderators handled it. We always explain to our moderators, and we've done 33 of those, Greta, starting back in 1988. That their job is to be facilitators. They're not to get involved themselves. It's different than if you had someone on your show and you asked them a question and they answered in a different way than they said a month before. You would correct them. But moderators are not supposed to do that. A debate is between the candidates, not a debate between the candidate and the moderators. And these moderators, as far as I was concerned, it was the worst performance that I've seen. And as I said, I've done 33 of these things over the years. I don't know what their thoughts were, but they clearly were oversized, I think, on the way they treated the former president and the way they treated the present vice president. I think they bent backwards to help her.
So we'll watch
thank you very much for joining me, sir.
Their ratings. We will watch their ratings because I suspect it'll eventually get reflected there. I mean, just like people are like, I'm not shopping at Target, I'm not going to drink Bud Light. I think people are not really going to watch ABC News. And by the way, you get plenty of other choices. Hey, join us over here, right? Subscribe, share, like, comment, all that stuff. This is the future. Anyway, Donald Trump said, no way, no more debates. Like, I've had it, right? There will be no third debate. Good for him. Look, his policy is out there. He keeps talking about it every day. She won't talk about policy. He does.